Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
All right. Tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, it's the Dallas Mavericks and Klay Thompson returning to the Chase Center to face off against Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors. That's a 10 o'clock start tonight. We'll be up at 9:45 with our pregame show. And now I turn the floor over to Shane because, at least for a few minutes, where is it? See, why'd you move all my stuff?
I didn't move nothing. I just found all this stuff myself. The hell you talking about?
You moved it.
I didn't do nothing.
Liar.
I didn't do nothing.
You got to say it right. It's nothing. You got to say it like my grandkids.
No church.
Like my grandchildren.
What?
My grandkids.
What?
All 13 of them.
What?
Like I said, I just found them.
Shut up.
All right, gentlemen. No lying or fighting in church.
I'm not fighting. He started it.
Shut up, bitch.
Oh, good Lord.
You shut up, bitch.
In a world.
No.
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 God, no.
No. No. No.
In a world where.
No. No.
Stop it. Get some help.
Do we?
In a world where partial greatness is celebrated.
I said no, doggone it. False start.
English, do you speak it?
Oh, Lord. All right.
Okay, so what am I needed for now?
You know what, Shane?
I don't remember asking you a thing.
Oh, my God.
And Cole gave that one to me on my birthday 2 years ago. He gave that to me on my 50th birthday. Okay, the propane takes a warm. Father O'Shaughnessy is standing by, and he wants to do this.
My children, you have found me in the garage of the dog today. I have been busy working on quite a few colors for him because apparently he needed some help figuring out the throttle linkage on a couple of them. So he has decided to have me take over and handle the garage today because who else better to talk about the Mickey Mouse Championship in NASCAR that was won by Joey Logano this season. And mind you, I come from the old days of the sport where it took an entire season to be crowned a champion, not this 10-race playoff bull that unfortunately we have to deal with nowadays. Now, yes, I called this championship Mickey Mouse because Joey Logano got in on an Alex Bowman disqualification in the playoff round over at the Charlotte Roval. Now, what was the disqualification for? Somehow the car had a couple of broken pieces that put the car under the weight. And what happens then? Joey Logano ends up winning a race on fuel mileage in Las Vegas and then goes on to win the championship in a heated duel with Ryan Blaney, causing kids and parents to cry everywhere because, quite frankly, this is more Mickey Mouse than what Adam Stern gave LeBron James way back when. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about how ugly that sandwich is.
No, please don't. Hey, I heard you in there. You're giving away what I want to talk about when you're done. Now hurry up.
You're going to tell me? I'm sorry, Commissioner, but the dog wanted me to handle a few things in here today.
I said hurry up, man.
Oh, for God's sake, child. Patience is a virtue, my child.
No disrespect in the church.
Oh, we
Hey,
even have the detective in here too.
hey, this stupid son is already disrespecting me for hogging the time I didn't want him to hog. Now hurry the up and get done.
My child, please have some patience. I am trying to discuss how stupid this playoff system is. 10 races to decide a champion. I'm sorry, but this is just stupid and it's all right. But unfortunately, it is a system we have to deal with because NASCAR gives more about ratings than they do actual champions. Like I said, we go back to 2016 with LeBron. God help us all with that one.
Yes, God help us all.
Oh no.
So, with this system, Joey Logano turned into a 3-time champion. Congratulations, unfortunately, to him because, quite frankly, nobody gives credit to that. And before I go, because apparently the commissioner needs to have some time and he's booting me out of my own garage. Yes, I've helped take this over. We also have to send our thoughts and prayers to the family of Bobby Allison, who passed away on Sunday. The 3-time Daytona 500 champion and 1983 Winston Cup champion passed away peacefully at the age of 86. He was a 2021 NASCAR Hall of Famer. And we send our thoughts to you, Bobby. Now, my children, please go and praise the New England sports teams except for the Patriots because we all know how god-awful that is. And Robert Kraft, if you are listening, please get the hell out of Foxborough.
We may have a warrant for his arrest.
Please do, because yes, Robert, it is you. It will forever be you. For the Lord's time on this planet, it will be you. The church rose as one as they exited and said, Amen. Now,
All right, enough of that frivolity.
oh, I see how it
Thank
is,
you.
Commissioner. I see how
Thank
it is.
you. Now shut up.
The commissioner has spoken again.
I got interrupted yesterday by a beautiful lady who dragged me out of this studio and kissed me until I went blind. And to tell y'all I don't mind one damn bit when she does that will be an understatement. That's Dr. K. I'm going to finish what I started yesterday when talking about Oklahoma City and the bullshit they've done to the NBA since they got there in 2008. And yet they got the nerve to share a damn history with the Seattle Supersonics, which ain't right. And I heard the father mention 2016. Oh, Lord. Why are you going to mention 2016 knowing how much it pisses me off when that happened?
Well, that's the only Mickey Mouse championship I could think of when it came to NBA to compare it to.
We could say 2020, but that's a different discussion for another time.
That's a different championship.
2016. I hate 2016. 2016 for sports was a fucking joke because you got Adam Silver clearing the way for LeBron to, quote, miraculously come back from a 3-1 deficit against the best team in the NBA and the Golden State Warriors, and everybody praising LeBron when the deed was done behind the scenes before Game 5 when Draymond Green got suspended wrongfully. Yeah, I said it, wrongfully. Snowman filled me in on all the details. I went and took a look at it, and he was wrongfully suspended. If you were to look at the letter of the law, which I often do, and Snowman does also, and so do the guys here, the suspension should have come in the Western Conference Finals against the damn Thunder, which shouldn't exist in the first place. And now you got Draymond Green out for Game 5. The Warriors lose 112-97, and the comeback begins. Because Game 6, they pissed off Stephen Curry so much that he threw his mouthpiece and got ejected. LeBron James is sticking out his chest, which is full of shit right now. and thought that he was just simply the man after he fake cried on the floor at Oracle Arena. And I say fake cry because the next year he got a foot put in his ass. And the year after that, his ass got swept. So you, LeBron. I've always said that, and I will say it. I'll keep saying it. You, LeBron. You've ruined the damn NBA with your presence and your fake basketball. You. And everybody else that plays like him, including James Harden, who's a real bitch. You too.
My child, what is with the hostility?
Shut up.
There's a lot of profanity here.
Joel Embiid is a real bitch. You too. Y'all need to get the out of the NBA and return it back to where it belongs. The players and the fans. You know why people have hated the Golden State Warriors for as long as they did? Because they played team basketball. You know why they hated the San Antonio Spurs and they still hate them to this day? Because they play team basketball. You know why they hated the Bulls in the 90s and wanted to clown Michael Jordan, who to me is the greatest player that ever lived, and wanted to clown Michael Jordan because they played team basketball. LeBron is an individual that can't play basketball worth shit. And he never will be a complete basketball player because he never desires to work on his game like the stupid he is.
At least we ain't in church.
Shut up. You.
Oh, thank God.
You, and you, LeBron. You. You understand that? I could give two shits about, oh, the hell with it. I could give two shits about what you do on the basketball floor. I could give two shits about what you do off the basketball floor, which ain't much because you got a school bearing your name and the kids don't know how to pass classes in there. How do you like them apples?
Apparently, LeBron has taught them well because he can't pass either.
Well, we already knew that. He had assistants getting through St. Vincent, St. Mary. I'll talk about that conspiracy later. There's a couple more conspiracies with LeBron. Everybody wants to paint him as this all-American guy. Well, all that, because I got some in my treasure chest that says otherwise. But back to Oklahoma City, and they don't need to belong in the NBA with their bullshit tactics because Adam Stern didn't want to keep the team in Seattle and reach into his pockets or the league pockets to help them build an arena that would house the Seattle Supersonics and not Key Arena or Climate Pledge Arena or whatever the it is right now to house the Seattle Supersonics, which was the old Seattle Sonic Coliseum, which is where Climate Pledge Arena is. And I'm getting confused on what they call them right now. NBA needs to stop being little bitches and give a team back to Seattle that belongs there. They need to tell Oklahoma City to off. Oklahoma City does not belong in the NBA. As I said yesterday, ain't a damn thing in Oklahoma City. Tell me something. What the are you going to do after the game? I'll tell you what you do after the game. You're going to go to bed. You're going to go to bed. As sure as what I do.
I typically don't watch. I got sermons to work on.
Why? Because you ain't got shit to do in Oklahoma City. So why would you put a professional basketball team there and have nothing surrounding it? That's like when I went to see Arco Arena back in the 90s. It's Arco Arena and nothing but a farm around it. But now they got the Golden One Center and places around that, and it looks good. Plan to sneak up with the Snowman on his stadium tour and do that. And by the way, if y'all want to support the show and his stadium tour, you can look right there. Now, back to Oklahoma City. Why is the Oklahoma City Thunder in existence? Ain't a damn thing in Oklahoma City to do. And I hate them that are in charge of it. All right? I hate them. I hate OKC because it gave us Russell Westbrook for a time, and everyone thought Russell Westbrook was the best player in the NBA, which is a crock of bullshit. Kevin Durant was that team, and nobody wanted to acknowledge it. And after they got spanked on a 3-1 comeback by Golden State in 2016, they've been nothing but the toilet. and they will forever be the toilet. OKC. That's why the Warriors went in there and spanked their asses like the children they are. And as long as we're talking NBA, let me get this out of the way. I don't buy the Cleveland Cavaliers either. I don't care what their legacy supposedly is with LeBron. You know what the legacy of the Cleveland Cavaliers is? Craig Elo. Why? Because as Jim Durham said once upon a time, it always happens to Craig Elo. And LeBron, it always happens to you too. We don't give a single solitary about you and your supposed basketball play. Why? Because yes, LeBron, it is you. It has always been you. It always will be you forever and ever and ever. And the church rose and said,
Amen.
Now you're taking my lines. What are you trying to do?
Shut up. And you know something else while I'm talking about people that cost teams seasons? How about this one? Yes, Lamar is you. You understand that? You got lucky against Cincinnati because Cincinnati don't know how to complete in the red zone. As far as the Chicago Bears go, you reached everything for this fool. This is a fool. This is a fool. Now I don't have to say anything about this. Look at the look on that face.
Have you seen him? That
Look.
name is missing right now, and I have a missing persons case for that person right there.
Oh, you do, huh? And I better get the hell out of here. All right, I've cussed enough. I filled up the cuss jar. Commissioner's out of here because apparently we got a detective coming in to talk about the missing case of Dak Prescott. Oh, by the way, Dak Prescott, you a
That's
you know why you a you know what, Ezekiel Elliott, you a too. All y'all Dallas Cowboys some because y'all had a chance to beat the 49ers and you didn't do it. 4 incompletions that were way over the receiver's head. And CD Lamb, you don't deserve to wear number 88. There's only 2 players in Cowboy history I know that deserve to wear the number. And those are Drew Pearson and Michael Irvin. And they're both Hall of Famers. Des Bryant, you a too. You had no business wearing number 88. Man, I'll tell you what, Des Bryant, you a mediocre receiver. Because you couldn't catch when it counted. I said it, and I mean it. All right. I better get out of here before I get shoved out of here. Because there's a case to be reopened. Y'all take care now. You hear?
All I gotta say is,
insanity again.
yep.
Not to mention, coming up, we have some mics to drop with Mike Drop Moran.
Right now, there's a case to unfold, isn't
There's
there?
a couple of cases.
Let's just do one before we get Allie in here.
All right.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I just did all that.
Oh, this show is going to get the absolute crap chopped out of it.
You better believe it is. Oh, geez. What is wrong with me today?
All right.
I have no idea.
Me neither.
And this one's going to be a basketball one, according to the detective.
Oh, Lord.
He's got.
All right.
He's been busy.
I see.
Quite frankly,
Good morning once again, gentlemen. How have you been?
We're all right.
Snowman, congratulations on getting new shoes.
Thank you.
As Victor has told you, I've been very busy.
Uh-huh.
I only meant to take on one case, and that is who done it in terms of the murder of the Dallas Cowboys.
Uh-oh.
But apparently there have been others.
Really?
Yes. Apparently I now have a thievery case.
Thievery?
Who stole basketball from Seattle? And now I have a case of racketeering, which is what I'm also working on.
Okay.
Don't look at me over here. I'm not involved in it.
I didn't do a thing. I didn't do a thing.
I'm talking about the illegal organization of the NBA Cup. Now, from what I heard, when this file came on my desk this morning, I was in the middle of my second cup of coffee.
Only your second?
Invader coffee, that is. Fuel for the fearless.
Oh, yeah.
And I saw that they were going to have an in-season tournament for the NBA Cup.
Go!
And all I could think of is that there's a rat who's eating some Limburger cheese or the pasta sandwich. Now, there are some suspects for this one. One of them is Russell Westbrook. Because he's so irrelevant where he is now, he needs something to get his name out there.
He did what?
There's also Adam Stein.
Are you kidding me?
He calls himself Adam Silver, but we know he's a puppet, and we can see the strings. Our third suspect are the James boys. The father and son villainous duo who are trying to hijack basketball from the true fans. I'm talking about Chicken Wayne LeBron and Bronny James. Who have been graffitiing cars with their likeness on the side.
Yep.
And they have been insulated by a group known as the Clapping Seals. No, the Bronzexuals. That's what they're called.
Oh, God.
They're led by the likes of Nick Wrong and Shannon Sharp, who I actually have some respect for as a tight end. But the James boys, for Kyrita Pinkett Smith, and I have decided to enlist in a few deputies for this. A team known as the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, yeah.
Who are going to help me crack this case. Because, yes, LeBron, it is you. It has always been you. It is you now, and it will forever be you forever and ever. And Pastor, if you allow me, please, the church rose and said,
Amen.
It is time for the true fans to take back the sport of basketball. So now we got 3 goals. 1, let's go Warriors. 2, let's bring basketball back to Seattle. And let's finally rid the NBA of the dreaded NBA Cup.
Yes. 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 Preach, please.
Now,
Preaching is my job, Sal.
now I gotta get out of here because I know that Mike Drop Moran is on the way.
Oh, she is.
And I gotta take care of this missing persons case for one Dakota Prescott who hasn't been seen in 8 years. This has been Vic A. Law signing out. Good afternoon, people.
That was awesome.
Yes.
I love it.
The one thing I'm so happy about is that the detective gave up. It doesn't leave smoke in my house.
Yes. Oh, my God.
Wow.
3 segments into one.
Yes.
How about that? Can't go wrong with it.
No.
This whole hour is about to be chopped up, and
I found that Warriors music as soon as Vic said Golden State Warriors. I had their intro music standing by.
Right.
yep.
Let's take a break. When we come back, Mic Drop Moran at your service. Back in a minute.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals, chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extra berth. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Twins.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BET in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E-Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meat beef of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays, so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
The person that you see in my lap is one of my heroes. Yep, this is Lucy. Lucy is my spirit animal.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't understand until Jody explained it to me. What a spirit animal was.
Yeah.
And since the day I met this pretty one 6 years ago, She has glued herself to my hip and not left my side. She is a daddy's girl. She is wonderful. She's crazy.
Yeah.
And fourth rule in the house, the dog's an idiot because she has done some idiotic things.
Right.
But this is my girl. This is the one I hang out with. And this is the one who hung out with me after my blood clot surgery and my cancer surgery. When I would get out of the hospital and I'd come home to rest, and she would just
snuggle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the beauty of a dog.
Yeah. And this one here, as crazy as she can get, I wouldn't trade her for anything.
I know you wouldn't.
This is my Lucy. And she's going to hang out with us for the remainder of the show. And speaking of pretty ladies hanging out with us, we got this pretty lady hanging out with us. Allison Moran, Mic Drop Moran, at your service. How are you, my dear? Great to have you.
It's great to be. It's great to be anywhere. I'm doing great today. Hi, Lucy, baby girl. Oh, she is so cute, Brian. Just so damn cute.
This is my spirit animal. This is the one. Anytime
awesome.
that Jody and I go on a road trip, like a short road trip, she comes with us. The only time that didn't happen is when we went on vacation last year to Branson, Missouri. And my wife surprised me with a tour of Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City for an anniversary.
Ooh, love that. Love that.
Here's what happened. I didn't know until the final day we were in Branson. I didn't know anything about this. She was talking to my daughter, and all I heard her say was, "I got something up my sleeve that will surprise him." I'm like, what is she planning? And I didn't put I did put the video together for our vacation last year. I just haven't posted it yet, and I have reasons for that. But we were recording the short videos and all that kind of stuff, just having a grand time. Did a week-long vlog of it, and she said, "I will tell you Friday what I'm up to on Saturday." I said, "All right." So Friday came, we did our final activities, we got ready to drive out of Branson, and she says, "You need to stop because there's something I need to tell you." I said, "All right." So I opened the phone, opened the video, and that's when she said, "I've surprised him with a tour of Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City." I cried in joy. And I was like, how does she know me so well? Yeah,
Wives
Jody,
always know.
yes,
there you go.
Wives, girlfriends, you name it.
They always know. And she surprised me with that trip. And what made it even better, at the time she said, "I just got the basics. I want you to see the stadium." And I said, "Cool." My tour guide had other ideas because my tour guide looked at me and said, "Tell me your story." And I said, "Well, I've survived pancreatic cancer. I've survived blood clots." And she stopped me and she says, "You sound like you got a broadcaster's voice." I said, "Yeah, I do a lot of broadcasting. I'm going to take you up to the broadcast suite." "What?" "You're going to do what?" I'm going to take you up to the broadcast suite.
Love that.
She took me up to the broadcast suite. I saw the Bally Sports, aka the Fox Sports television suite. I saw both the radio booths. Took pictures everywhere I went at Kauffman Stadium, and I'm planning to surprise her with a tour of Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. Because she is a giant.
Great place.
It is.
Great place. I love it.
I've done 3 games there. I've done 3 Circle City Classics there.
Awesome.
I plan to miraculously get broadcast permission for the state championships, the high school state championships in Indianapolis. It's just a matter of figuring out the cost. and seeing how many donations I can get in to get that, because I want to surprise her with that too.
Beautiful.
There's
Won't
just
be a surprise anymore, though, buddy. I
No,
mean, you're
I know.
announcing it.
I
So,
know.
are you
Listen,
planning on muting this for Jody or what?
hell no, hell no. I look, Jody couldn't be muted if I tried, and I'm not trying.
We tried that yesterday, and that did not work.
And you know,
Nope.
the best part about it,
Hmm.
she said again what she said when I accidentally turned off my microphone, which is the most beautiful thing. Speaking of microphones, there's the PWHL that begins on November 30th, which I'm excited as hell for. I know Allie is. I promised Allie, and she didn't know this, that I'd work on a broadcast schedule for us to do the PWHL, because last year they began in January, and it was just a sprint. It was just a sprint line. Whoops. Allie tumbled for a minute. Last year's PWHL was a sprint to the finish line. They got to the finish line. It was wonderful. We covered a few games. We covered the finals, but now we're going to do it in play-by-play format. And Allie, what are you looking forward to the most with this PWHL season that begins on November 30th?
Oh my gosh, I'm really looking forward to seeing all the clashes and how much more action they're going to bring this year. Now they're comfortable with their setups. Now they're comfortable with being a league, first of all, and also all of the amazing fans that found it.
Oh my God, yes.
You know, that final game where Minnesota beat Boston in Boston. I mean, that was a game for the ages.
Oh,
now,
that game was crazy. That game was crazy.
It's going to be so exciting. Now, they just unveiled all new uniforms for the teams, which didn't even have names last year, by the way. To recap, they are the Boston Fleet this year, Minnesota Frost, Montreal Victoire. I love saying that. Victoire. And you have to sing it. The New York Sirens, the Ottawa Charge, and the Toronto Scepters. I am so regretful that the Chicago Blackhawks didn't get in on the original 6 this time. They certainly did it for the Blackhawks. You know, what was it, about 90 some years ago?
Look at it this way. We got these original 6.
Yes.
And these original 6 will forever be celebrated by fans like us, by journalists like us that love covering new leagues when they come up and when they get better and better. I mean, hell, Allie and I were there for the premiere of the WNBA when it came to Chicago. All right. First game they ever played at the old Rosemont Horizon is the day I met Allie. And it's one of the days I met Allie in person, because we met earlier that week when I had her on my show live, and I was at Starbucks in downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
And we met that day. That sealed the friendship, and then we covered the Sky game that weekend. You want to talk about a loud house? Listen, people don't understand this about women's sports, and I want to talk to you about this. People don't understand about women's sports. The support is there. The coverage isn't.
Yes.
And that's where Allie, Big Dog, Victor, I, and others want to change that. That's kind of the focus
heavily
of Snowman Multimedia going forward. And there's a pretty lady that I'm married to by the name of Jody K, who keeps whispering in my ear, you need to do more women's sports. I'm telling you, will come when you do women's sports. When we did the Big Ten championship.
Oh my God, those numbers.
Nebraska and Iowa. 5,200 views for that play-by-play call.
Nice.
And another 500 when I did the national championship between Iowa and South Carolina. Now there's a group of teams that I'm going to follow, Iowa included. South Carolina definitely, because they're the defending champs. USC, I know I'm going to look at, and there's a couple of others I'm going to look at, but I think the team I'm going to stick with is South Carolina. and see what they do all the way to
Good
the
idea. And you've got to look at UConn as well.
That's the other team I was looking at.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm hoping
Paige
that they
Beckers,
play,
for God's sakes.
I'm hoping they play on different days because one day I want to do South Carolina and the other day I want to do UConn. And
Good
I
luck.
got the feeling it's going to be those two battling it out for the national championship next April. But those are the two I'm going to heavily cover, and that's UConn and that's South Carolina. Allie's going to join me for some play-by-play calls. I know Shane will join me in the production booth. I know Victor will join.
I'll be there. I will be there.
Production booth in Chicago. So we got a lot planned with women's sports, and it's really going to start heavy on November 30th. With the PWHL, and I can't wait, Allie, to cover that league with you. It's going to be a blast.
Same, absolutely. Oh, that's going to be great. I will look forward to that, and I'm very much so looking forward to it. You know what's funny is you mentioned Kansas City right at the top, and did you know that Brittany and Patrick Mahomes are trying to bring a WNBA championship to actually a WNBA team? The championship will undoubtedly follow, but Kansas City has not had an NBA team or any other kind of basketball since 1985. And Mahomes is already a Kansas City part owner. He's minority stakeholder in the Kansas City Current, the Kansas City Royals, and the Sporting Kansas City of the MLS. I mean, this guy is a titan of Kansas City sports. He's going to be just in the, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame as an owner and as a player. I mean,
I love seeing him at different events around Kansas City. I love seeing him around different events, just taking it all in, especially with the Royals when they had their run to the playoffs this past year. And I hope they do get a team in Kansas City. I really do.
I will say this: it
needs that Midwest needs that Midwest matchup again. The WNBA needs that Midwest matchup again.
They do.
Because whenever Chicago and Indiana or Chicago and Detroit got together, it was crazy.
Oh my God. Well, Bill Lambier was the coach of the Detroit Shock, the former Detroit Shock. Now they're called the Dallas Wings. And then he was with the Aces. And he brought the Thunder, for one thing. And so any matchup between Bill Lambier and any team in the WNBA was going to be insane. And yes, I told him once that he was my very favorite interview of all time. And he actually, he was in the locker room and I just said, Bill, you are my favorite interview of all time. And he kind of smiled. He goes, why? I said, because you're so quotable. I can always count on a quote from you that will be momentous, that'll be picked up everywhere. And that provides the help for women's sports that's really needed.
It does.
Oh, yes. And then
here's what people don't realize about Bill Lambier. When he was brought on to the Detroit Shock and he got introduced to the WNBA, he was all in.
He was.
He's all in. I did an exhibition game at Chicago State when the Detroit Shock played the Chicago Sky. It was one of the first exhibition games I ever went to, and was glad to be there at the top of that season. That's when somebody informed me, he was like, hey, Bill Lambier's here. I was like, what? And then I see him walk out with the Detroit Shock. I do the game. I cover the game. I write my story, and I go to the locker room. Bill Lambier is the first to emerge, and he's got a big old smile on his face. And remember, Bill Lambier is 6'10". All right. Here I am looking like a shrimp at 6'5". He comes out, he just has this big smile on his face. He says, what do you want to talk about? And he shakes my hand, he puts his arm around me, and like, I don't know.
Yeah, you're starstruck. You're starstruck.
You had it.
I am. I am.
You had him at hello.
Yep. I had him at hello.
You had a game plan, and then Lambier just shut it down.
Just like he did with the Bulls, many years ago, when the Bulls and the Pistons would always meet in the East Finals. It was so much fun to watch. So much fun seeing these two teams battle, and then I get to meet the number 40, Bill Laimbeer. And I tell you what, when he was between those lines, he was a dangerous player, and I mean that in a very good way. I mean,
and a mean player, mean, dirty.
He was a mean, dirty. But between those lines, that's who Bill Laimbeer was.
You know who? You know what? You know what?
In the coach's box, he was one of the sweetest interviews I ever met. He's one of the sweetest guys I ever met. He was standing there laughing at me because I'm so starstruck. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is Bill Laimbeer. This is a guy I used to watch and pattern my game after when I played because he's a big man that can shoot from outside.
Yeah. Right.
We must have talked for 30 minutes and my recorder was going. We just sat there and just talked, man. I mean, very few points about the game. We just talked about life. And he said, when I was between the lines, it was war. And it was time to get it on with war. But when I'm open the lines and when I'm doing this, he says, he said to me, I'm all bought in with basketball, which further cemented my love for women's basketball. Because as you guys know, my first year watching women's hoops was 1982. And that was when the NCAA had their first ever Final Four for the women at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. Go ahead, Victor.
One thing when it comes to like individuals I want to meet, and I'm more on the media side, Coach, I like to see Lawrence Holmes, but there was a person that was honored a couple of days ago, even though there was a horrible loss. But she has been a sidelighting reporter extraordinaire, and I'm talking about the legendary Pam Oliver.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
we love Pam.
When I hear about how great women are in terms of sports, media, especially sideline reporters, Pam is one of them. Pam is queens when it comes to. She's so diligent about her job. She's so diligent. She's so thorough, and I'm like, man, I would love to meet her and chop it up with her.
She is such a warrior and such a proponent for all for women being involved in all sports. And she was so gracious when she lost her prime position to Erin Andrews. It was back in the day, and I felt for her. I actually did a token female story on Pam Oliver and how unfair they treated her and what a goddess she was about it. And I know that even to this day there has to be some level of hurt inside here. But she's such a professional and she knows her damn stuff. I mean, it's impossible to say that any amount of respect is enough for her. So
she's a total teacher.
She is.
Yes.
One play-by-play women's play-by-play announcer I had the pleasure of meeting, and I think Allie was there that night in Chicago, was Beth Mowins.
Yes.
With ESPN.
Love Beth. Love Beth's voice. My God, that's
so approachable.
Beth
was just so approachable. Okay, and I saw her come downstairs, and I got so excited. One of the guys from the Sky said, "Man, what are you doing?" I'm gonna go say hi to Beth Mowins. Like Beth Mowins is here. I'm like, she's right there, and I'm awestruck. I've been awestruck as a media person since I started in 1995. All right, and I've met a few of my favorites. I walked over to Beth Mowins. She turns around, looks up at me, and had these wide eyes, and she says, "How are you doing?" "I'm doing fine, and it's great to meet you." She shook my hand. She gave me a hug, and I told her, "Have a kick-ass broadcast." And she says, "I will."
Yeah.
Boy,
and she did. I bet.
Meeting Beth Mowins that night, and now I look forward to the day where I meet the great Doris Burke.
Oh my! We love our Doris. We love our Doris.
I met Mike Patrick in 1995 at the ACC tournament final, and of course, the great Dick Vitale was there with him at the Greensboro Coliseum. Met them, and I've always told this story when it comes to meeting broadcasters. One of my favorites of all time is the great Wayne Larrabee.
Yeah.
He was the voice of the Bears for many years. He did the Bulls with WGN, and now he's the voice of the Packers. I saw him at Butler University because I had a game to do at Butler with the UIC women's basketball team and the Butler Bulldogs. I saw him come in and I said, I should go introduce myself to him. I was scared, but then I wasn't. I walked over, I met him. I said, I've always loved your work. Your style is what I use when I do football play-by-play. Man, he shook my hand, gave me a hug, and took a couple pictures with me.
Do you want to know who I really loved meeting and who became a friend of mine?
Who's that?
Bob Costas.
Yes. Legendary.
Bob was the most gracious man. I'm sorry to trot on your parade, Brian, but Bob actually was the one who gave me the confidence to go up and ask blindly if someone could be on this very early sports show that I put together for Chris Radio 1,000 years ago, and he agreed to be on it, and then he sent me a note afterwards, and he said, Allison, he was very formal. He called me Allison, and he said, I really appreciated your thoughtful style. And I'm going, that was all I needed to have the confidence to be able to think, damn, I could really do this job. I'm not sure how. And at that point I was so young in the business, and we kept a correspondence for quite a number of years after that. He donated to my causes. I mean, just a prince of a man. And he would take a call from anywhere. He was in the Olympics, out in Korea and all those things, just as long as we were there. So those are the kinds of people that we really want to have in the business. The people who lift up others.
Like I said, I met Wayne Larrabee. It was a pleasure meeting him. And 2005, I wound up going through a job microphone. I wound up going through a job transition, and my friend Barry surprised me with Sox Fest passes for the final day. And I said, cool. Who did I happen to meet that day? Well, there's a PA announcer that I patterned myself after, and I think Allie knows this name, the legendary Gene Honda.
Yes, I love Gene.
Met Gene Honda that day, and I also met the play-by-play voice at the time, Mr. John Rooney.
Yes. Oh, John.
I had them both sign a baseball, and I said, John, I'm going to be doing a lot of baseball this year in the high school ranks. Do you have any advice? Because this is like my first full season in about 2 years. He looked at me, gave me a hug, and said, just be yourself. Have fun.
That's right. That's right.
That's the advice to give anybody, because I remember the first interview I ever did for a podcast I had way back by myself, road racing ace Tommy Kendall. And I was asking for help, through that. And the biggest help I got was from the legendary announcer himself in NASCAR, Mike Joy. Flat out said, just act like you're just hanging out on the back porch on a couple of rockers, drinking.
That's right.
Just be chill.
The first ever broadcaster that I met was in 1995. My very first game, as a matter of fact. Chicago State played Northern Illinois. And at the time, Northern Illinois had a young bruising center by the name of TJ Lux. And I said, on the air, I said, TJ Lux finished with 26 points and 14 rebounds. We wrapped up our broadcast on the track at the old arena at Chicago State. Kevin Lee, who was my cameraman and my color commentator at the time, said, how do you remember how many points they had? I said, Kevin, it was just a total guess. He said, well, let's confirm it and go look at the score sheet. You're on, man. And my brain's thinking, I am probably so far off with those numbers. But we made TJ Lux our player of the game. Go downstairs, and that's when I meet the legendary Bill Baker, who just recently retired from Northern Illinois.
Yeah.
And I said, can we see the stat sheet? He handed it to us. I'm looking, and Kevin's looking. He says, no way you got this right on the money. Because TJ Lux had 26 points and 14 rebounds.
Damn.
He says, there ain't no way you got that on the money. And somehow I did, and I just did an interview with Bill last year. I've yet to post it, but I will post it. He is my first ever mentor, and so is another familiar name, Dave Ennett.
Oh, Dave.
Voice
my buddy.
Yep,
I
mine too.
love Dave. Love Dave. He was a supporter from the start.
Oh, he's been a supporter. He's been a supporter of both of us.
Yes.
And it's so fun to talk to him and to talk to the media folks that we've met over time. Don't forget, y'all, November 30th, Allie and I are going to come together with a PWHL Game of the Week. And I'm working on putting that together. It'll happen right after Thanksgiving. Hang around, folks. We got women's college basketball, women's hockey, everything. We're going to take you in the women's sports season beginning November 30th, and we're going to take you all the way to June. So hang around with us. Allison Moran, the token female, Mic Drop Moran, joining us as she always does. My dear, we love you. Thank you so very much. Thank you for sharing memories, and we'll see you next week.
All right. Have a good week, everybody. Enjoy. Be safe and healthy.
Don't forget tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern, Klay Thompson returns to the Bay as the Dallas Mavericks face off against the Golden State Warriors. Yours truly, Brian Snow, will have the call. We'll be up at 9:45 with our pregame show presented by Wanna Parlay. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope you all are too. Thank you to all of our guests, and thank you to all of our fans. So long, everybody.